You don't know what it means to live with the weight of your own mind until it becomes your worst enemy. Two pairs of eyes, two completely different worlds, but the same gaze, empty, heavy, exhausted from carrying what no one else could. On one side, a ninja who wiped out his own clan. On the other, a vigilante with multiple personalities, guided by a forgotten god. Both walk through the shadows, not because they want to, but because the light no longer recognizes them. Today, on Multiverse Mirrors, we dive into an unexpected clash between two characters who don't fight for recognition, but for redemption. Two broken, fragmented Avengers, dangerously lethal. Who is more broken on the inside? Who lives with the deepest pain? Who wears the mask, not just to hide their face, but to protect the world from themselves? This isn't just a power comparison. It's a journey through grief, madness, and the edge between sacrifice and ruin. Today, we'll discover who carries vengeance in its most brutal form. Itachi Uchiha, or Moon Knight. The world of heroes usually paints pictures of bright colors, epic powers, and glorious endings. But there's a deeper layer, where heroism blends with pain, guilt, and silent sacrifice. That's where Itachi Uchiha and Moon Knight live. Two vigilantes who don't seek glory, only atonement. In the world of Naruto, justice doesn't always come from grand battles, but from decisions no one else dares to make. A place where clans, wars, and legacies collide, and where true strength lies in carrying the weight of a choice that saves many at the cost of one. In Marvel's universe, Moon Knight walks among Egyptian gods, mental disorders, and knights stained with invisible scars. Here, madness and faith are hard to tell apart, a world where the mind is the ultimate battleground, and the mask, the final protection against total collapse. But why compare these two? Because Itachi and Moon Knight represent something rare, the hero who destroys themselves so the world doesn't have to. They are the modern martyr, the one who hides their pain so others don't panic, who fights in the shadows so others can sleep in peace. And the question that haunts us is, how far can someone go before they completely lose themselves to their sacrifice? Itachi Uchiha. Itachi didn't become a legend because he was powerful. He became one because, even with the power to destroy everything, he chose to destroy himself instead. From a young age, he was different. A prodigy. Quiet. Introspective. With eyes that saw too far for someone so young. He witnessed the scars of war and decided right then that he would never let it happen again. But fate was cruel. Itachi discovered that the Uchiha clan was planning a coup against the Leaf Village. Faced with the unthinkable, he had to make a choice no hero should ever face: protect peace by eliminating his own family. Yes, he killed them all. Uncles, cousins, even friends. Everyone, except one, Sasuke. The one he loved above all. And the one he condemned to hatred, to forge a future where Sasuke would be strong enough to kill him and become a hero. To the world, Itachi became a traitor, a villain. But behind the cold mask and Mangekyu eyes was a boy who just wanted to stop another war. He lived in the ruins of his own soul, acted as a spy, killed, lied, suffered in silence, all while being hated. And he accepted it, because he'd rather carry that weight than let Sasuke, or the village, do it. And perhaps the most tragic part of Itachi is that he never stopped loving what he had to destroy. Moon Knight. There's not just one Moon Knight. There's Mark Spector, the brutal mercenary. There's Stephen Grant, the gentle, confused museum gift shop worker obsessed with ancient Egypt. There's Jake Lockley, a ruthless shadow with no rules. And in the center of it all, a forgotten god pulling the strings. Moon Knight is the result of a mind at war with itself, a dissociative identity disorder that doesn't just fragment personality, it shatters reality. He often doesn't even know what's real, and neither do we. Mark was betrayed, killed, and resurrected by Khonshu, the Egyptian god of vengeance. But resurrection didn't bring clarity. It brought confusion. He became Khonshu's avatar, dressed in white as a challenge to his enemies. I want them to see me. But beneath that, he just wanted to understand who he was. Other heroes have homes, missions, clear identities. Moon Knight wakes up, not knowing where he is or who's in control. He's not just a vigilante, he is the battlefield. Across comics and on screen, we see him trying to balance his personalities, confront childhood trauma, navigate divine manipulation. He gets beaten, bleeds, breaks bones, and keeps getting up. Not for glory, out of necessity. Moon Knight doesn't inspire through speeches. He inspires because, even without knowing who he is, he still chooses to fight. They don't fly. They don't save the world with a smile. They don't ask to be seen. Itachi, Uchiha, and Moon Knight operate in the margins of morality, at the edge of sanity. But the question still lingers. Who is more broken? Trauma and origin. Both were forged in trauma, but of different natures. Itachi saw war as a child, death, chaos, and made a decision, never again. But fate turned him into the very blade he feared. The difference? He knew exactly what he was doing, and he accepted it. Moon Knight didn't choose his condition. Mark. Spectre was mentally shattered by childhood trauma and divine interference. He doesn't just carry painful memories. He's lost his entire sense of self. While Itachi remembers everything, Moon Knight constantly questions what's real. Sanity and control. Itachi is a master of control. Even under the weight of genocide, hatred, and being rejected by his own brother, he remains calculated. His pain is silent, contained, almost poetic. Moon Knight is the opposite, pure chaos. His mind is shattered. Voices, gods, impulses. Every day is an internal war. And the saddest part? He often doesn't know if he's winning or losing. 3. Purpose and vengeance. Itachi never sought revenge. He sacrificed himself for peace. He killed not out of anger, but love. His mission was to protect, even if it meant being hated forever. Moon Knight is literally the avatar of vengeance. He acts with rage. He punishes. He fights for others, but also to release his own pain. Khonshu uses him as a weapon, but sometimes it's hard to know if he's fighting for justice or just trying to silence the void. Mask and identity. Itachi's mask is metaphorical. He hides behind the label of traitor, behind silence, behind coldness. His true self was buried for years, revealed only in death. Moon Knight's mask is literal and multiple. Each identity is a fragment of his shattered psyche. He doesn't pretend to be others. He is others. When Itachi removes his mask, we see a hero. When Moon Knight removes his, we might just see more masks. Cultural impact and legacy. Itachi became a symbol in Naruto and beyond. He's the face of silent sacrifice, of moral complexity, of the villain no one truly hates. He changed how people see anti-heroes. Moon Knight remains more niche, but increasingly powerful. The recent series brought him to the spotlight, sparking conversations around mental health and divine purpose. He represents invisible suffering, the kind people fight silently every day. Itachi built a legacy. Moon Knight is still trying to understand if his even exists. Imagined dialogue. Itachi and Moon Knight. In a dreamlike void, the two stand face to face. Moon Knight. You killed everyone you loved and still call yourself a hero? Itachi. And you hide behind voices only you can hear. Are you fighting for justice or running from yourself? Moon Knight. At least I didn't know what I was doing. Itachi. That's your privilege. I knew, and I did it anyway. Silence. Two marked men. Neither smiles. Neither wants to win. Both just continue. Because stopping would mean facing what lies beneath the mask. In the end, this was never about pain, not about who suffered more or lost more. It's about what each one did with their pain. Itachi had control and still gave up everything, including himself. He could have chosen revenge, but chose peace instead, by paying the ultimate price. Moon Knight never had control. He was thrown into a mental abyss and had to find meaning in the madness. He acts out of survival, impulse, and sometimes divine order. And here's where everything flips. Maybe they're not broken. Maybe what makes them terrifyingly human and incredibly powerful is the fact that they keep going, despite it all. Itachi died with almost no one knowing the truth. Moon Knight lives not knowing if any truth is real. But both show us one thing. Being a hero isn't about being pain-free. It's about what you do with the pain, and in that sense, maybe they were never broken. Maybe they're the purest reflection of what it means to resist when no one else understands. When the mask falls, what's left is a human being trying not to fall apart. Itachi and Moon Knight. Two names that rarely share the same sentence. But today, here, they met in the shattered mirror of the human soul. A rogue ninja and a lunar knight. A silent killer. And a man battling voices only he can hear. Both carry the weight of decisions no one wants to make. Both bleed inside, in silence, and still keep fighting. Let's recap. Itachi is the ultimate martyr. He knew exactly what he was doing and chose the cruelest path to protect what he loved. His sacrifice was conscious, voluntary, and carried to the end without ever asking for forgiveness. Moon Knight is the living embodiment of internal war. He doesn't have clarity, just fragments. But even in confusion, there's justice. There's a strength that doesn't come from order, but from persistence. They show us that true heroism doesn't always wear a cape or deliver hope-filled speeches. Sometimes it bleeds. Sometimes it breaks. Sometimes it hides behind a cracked mask. And now it's your turn. Who do you think hides deeper pain behind the mask? Who is more broken, or maybe stronger because of the break? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep this mirror open. If this journey made you rethink what it means to be a hero, then you're exactly where you belong. Here on Multiverse Mirrors, we don't compare characters by power levels. We dig into what lies behind the mask, what drives, what breaks, what rebuilds. So if you enjoyed diving deep with Itachi and Moon Knight, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, because the next episodes will challenge you even more. Comment below. Who do you think hides more behind the mask? Let's build this multiverse together, because here, every perspective matters.